So it appears that silly season has reached its peak already in 2018 and we're only 3 days into August. In an extremely interesting move announced around midday today, Daniel Ricciardo is set to leave Red Bull to go to Renault for 2019 and partner Nico Hülkenberg. What does it mean for the grid? What are the reactions to it? Why did he do it? Everything and more in this video. This is a new channel I've started up, 276 or 75 of you, 275, let's play it safe, will know me as the Real Jeagles. The rest of you won't know me at all, that's fair enough. I've started this channel which will be based around Formula 1. If you do want to check out my main channel, I don't really post there, although I might change that, then it's in the featured channels.
Not sexual.
But anyway, that's plugging enough. Let's have a look at some of the statements made. First of all, Ricciardo's. He said it was probably one of the most difficult decisions to take in my career so far, but I thought it was time for a fresh challenge. There's a lot ahead in order to make Renault reach their target. However, he has been impressed with their progression over the past 2 years. Each time Renault have been in the sport, they have won. Haven't won a Constructors or Drivers' Championship since Fernando Alonso in 2006. They did come back in 2016, they were quite poor, but bear in mind that was a Lotus chassis designed around a Mercedes engine with a Renault engine plonked in the back probably sometime in mid-January. So no one was really expecting much. 2017, they came back, they finished well, sort of. No, they did finish the Constructors' Championship, they finished well. Sort of. It was sick. There was a little controversy ridden given how they took it away from Toro Rosso with some mysterious failures towards the end of the year before they went to Honda, but nonetheless, 6th is 6th. And this year they're doing quite well, in 4th, ahead of Haas and Force India, and they look to keep it if they can keep their form going into the second half of the season.
I just need to change this to zoom.
As for Red Bull's statement, naturally they are disappointed to lose probably one of the best driver lineups on the grid in Ricciardo, in Verstappen. We fully respect Daniel's decision to leave Red Bull. We wish him all the best, that's nice, and would like to thank him for the dedication and role he has played since joining the team in 2014. The highlights being 7 wins and 29 podiums so far. They may think that they can win again this year. Who knows? Probably not. But also probably, I'm just going to cover my back there. We will now continue to evaluate the numerous options available to us before deciding on a partner for Verstappen for 2019. And who that might be, we will delve into later. Look at Renault's statement from Jérôme Stoll, the president. Renault decided to come back to F1 to fight for World Championships. Signing Daniel is a unique opportunity for the group Renault towards this objective that could not be missed. We welcome Daniel's arrival to the team, still in the making but more motivated than ever. And with all the formal stuff out the way, let's have a look at the factors that might have been behind this decision and what are its implications for the future. Firstly, will Honda succeed? Since coming back into the sport in 2015 with McLaren, which went terribly, Honda have become a bit of a laughingstock or a yoke. 3 dismal years with McLaren trying to rekindle old great partnerships and memories of Senna and Berger and Prost in the late 80s and early 90s didn't work. They moved to Toro Rosso for 2018 and will go to Red Bull next year. Now Daniel Ricciardo wanted assurances that the decision to go from Renault to Honda wasn't emotion based, and they knew that Honda could deliver for 2019 as he's not getting any younger and he wants a world championship. Clearly he couldn't be convinced, and Honda, although they've had a decent base reliability compared to where they were with McLaren, not hard. Before Barcelona pre-season testing and its shakedown run, Brendan Hartley and Pierre Gasly did comment on its drivability, saying it's very good. And the reliability has been decent and they can build speed on top of that. But that's not really enough for a driver who is looking for a world championship pretty soon and was wanted a few months ago by all the biggest teams in the business. With no guarantee that it wasn't emotion based, Ricciardo clearly wants to stay with Renault as he believes that now they're cancelling their Formula E project, they can have a really good run at Formula 1 and try and almost make him the driver that he deserves to be. He deserves to win a lot of races, he deserves to win world championships. This is the ultimate late breaking move he's probably ever pulled in his life, and you have to say it's made things very exciting, as he usually does. Number 2, it's a works team. Eric Boullier and Christian Horner said that Formula 1 is becoming a manufacturer's business. You have to be in a works team to win a world championship. Again, that's probably playing on Ricciardo's mind, and Renault have a really good chance. They're pumping a lot of money into it. They rejuvenated their factory in Enstone last year in the hope of pushing forward towards 2021 where they hope to have a championship winning car. Will that play out? Who knows, but they want to start winning races soon. They haven't even got a podium yet since their return, although it is quite hard with this F1 compared to F1.5 and then F2 with Williams. You get the sense that Ricciardo wants to have a Hamilton to Mercedes moment, jumping from McLaren at the perfect time, or in this case Red Bull, into Mercedes, where they went on to win absolutely everything, including all the second places, third places, fourth places, fifth place.
A few moments later.
Ninth places, 10th places, 11th, a lot of stuff. Whereas McLaren fell down, 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 down. They're still going down, 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 down. Oh look, there's Williams. Number 3, another interesting teammate battle. How will Ricciardo line up against Hülkenberg? For 2019, driver weight will be not so much of a factor, which is fantastic. It means that people can put on weight and the taller drivers don't actually have to be penalised for simply being tall or slightly stocky. Nico Hülkenberg welcomes that news very greatly. Marcus Ericsson can finally have a drink, and Ricciardo may be able to show what he can do. It's going to be really interesting that Hülkenberg, who said none of the top 3 teams want him, maybe his time to say, well, why don't you want me? If he can beat Ricciardo. He's doing well against Sainz. He started off very well. Sainz has started to come back, particularly in qualifying. In Hungary, that was evident, putting in a brilliant display in the wet, whereas Hülkenberg struggled, didn't even make Q3. And he now has the ultimate challenge, probably regarded as one of the top 5 drivers in the sport at the moment, in Ricciardo. But you do have to call the decision into question, given how failure prone Renault have been in this era of Formula 1. Maybe that was something because the breakdown in relationship between Red Bull and Renault happened a long time ago. Cyril Abiteboul said he stopped listening to Christian Horner in 2015, and that may have something to do with it if you want to put your cynic's hat on. Will Renault be able to find better base reliability for their works team? You'd probably expect so, but can that be assured? But then again, we are talking about Honda, and they could take all their good work and completely plummet down the grid next year. But when Red Bull cars have failed, Daniel Ricciardo has been surprisingly quiet about criticising Renault, so maybe he knew something all along that we didn't. That is in comparison, of course, to Verstappen, who likes to go on lengthy rants at any time in the day on any topic. And finally, what does this mean for the overall driver market, considering this is a key player moving? Well, it frees up a seat at Red Bull, which may go to Pierre Gasly, could go to Carlos Sainz, because he is contracted to Red Bull still and was expecting to be in a Red Bull seat pretty soon. However, he doesn't really get on with Max Verstappen, so that's probably out of the question. Sainz vacating his seat at Renault means that there is a gap for Ricciardo, which he is, of course, slotted into very nicely, or will slot into very nicely. Hasn't happened yet. The man tipped to replace Sainz at Renault was Esteban Ocon. Toto Wolff made it very clear that he was trying to get Ocon into Renault for next year. However, that has been thrown completely down the With Force India in trouble, no one knows what their future holds. It's probably going to be Lance Stroll and Ocon for next year. What name they'll be under, who knows? Maybe they could turn into a Mercedes junior team and have a technical partnership like Haas and Ferrari. They could do quite well. They've done extremely well as a privateer team on a very tight budget, 4th in the last 2 Constructors' Championships, and they overcame their early aerodynamic problems this year to rise back up into contention for 4th alongside Renault. Then that leaves the merry-go-round that is Toro Rosso. Who's going to go there? Will it be Lando Norris, because McLaren want James Key from Toro Rosso? They could send Norris on loan, even though he's not a Honda affiliated driver anymore, to try and sweeten that deal. Could even be Alex Albon. He was a Red Bull driver a few years ago, however he was ditched, surprise surprise, and he's doing rather well, regarded as one of the best drivers in the F2 field. So that could be an option that is explored now with Gasly being promoted, you would expect. And does that mean that Big Brendan can stay for another year at Toro Rosso? Did pretty well in 2017, but has been overshadowed by Gasly. Has had some horrendous luck, to be fair to the man. But it will be interesting to see if Marco wants to ditch him twice and be a very nasty person. But Sainz is too good to be out of F1, so where does he go? Well, McLaren, maybe alongside his childhood hero Fernando Alonso, who no one knows what he's doing. Maybe no one cares. I don't even know if he cares anymore. Is he going to IndyCar? Is he going to the WEC? Is he going to go Tesla racing in space? But that could be an interesting partnership, and that will mean that Stoffel Vandoorne finally gets his refuge away from McLaren, whereas he has had a frankly terrible time, and could join up with his old team principal Frederic Vasseur at Sauber, which wouldn't actually be a very bad move, replacing who, of course? Charles Leclerc. Now young Charles, the brilliant young Charles, the talented young Charles, has been linked with every single team in Formula 1, most personally Haas and Ferrari. It may be too early to go to Ferrari, and also that's looking a little bit dodgy with the unfortunate death of Sergio Marchionne and Louis Camilleri coming in as president and not really wanting to rock the boat and keeping Raikkonen for 2019. And Romain Grosjean goes over there somewhere. because my camera battery is getting extremely low, I've got to wrap this one up. This is a new channel, so support would be appreciated. If you could like, subscribe, share the video on your social media links, that would be amazing. Comment down below, what impact do you think this will have on Formula 1 in the near future? But anyway, I've been James Eagles, thank you very much for watching. My social media links are down in the description. I'll see you for the next one, goodbye.